We know Man United is not a well-run club. We know Man United have got problems. But we have to keep the same energy on this platform. We disagreed when Jose Mourinho was mistreated by the club and he started misbehaving, bringing the club into disrepute, being toxic in the media, airing his dirty linen in public. This was shut down by the vast majority of Manchester United fans. When we've seen people come out and disrespect Paul Pogba publicly and take issues with Paul Pogba public, we've defended Paul Pogba. The same energy has to apply when the Paul Pogba team is doing this to Manchester United. And it is. Today, they've slammed Oli. Today, they have slammed Bruno Fernandes. Today, they are talking about going to Real Madrid. Today, they're talking about having a great relationship with Juventus and being able to go back there. Today, they're talking as leaving as early in January, just as Man United fans are starting to say, actually, maybe we could have a decent season. And as soon as that energy comes from Manchester United fans, a few days after Pogba's best performance, by the way, his team come out and absolutely slam Manchester United. And if you're a United fan this morning and you are defending Paul Pogba, I want to hear from you. And I want to understand why you're defending their actions. Not his want to leave. I think that's absolutely fair. I really do. I want to hear from you this morning. You can get in contact with us via our Discord server. The server's open right now. Go into the link in our description below. Get yourself signed up. Call in via Discord now. We want to hear from you. And there's so much to look at and speak about in here. Morning to everybody in the comments. Original Base Annie here with Super Chat says, sending the chat my birthday love. 3 points, please. Original Base Annie, happy birthday to you. Long-time viewer and supporter of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. The one that you're here on your birthday and secondly, that you're still contributing really, really does mean a lot to us. A comment here from King underscore I think he says Aboli says hi. Says hi Terry, my Don. And the comment underneath him says I am disgusted. Shine here says I am defending him. Simple. Well, if you're defending him, explain why. Explain why you are defending him. That's the question I have for United fans or anybody defending him this morning. How are these comments fair? How are these comments so close to a gigantic game? You know, Pogba can come back to Turin. You've got Fabrizio, who has spoken to Mino Raiola, is saying that Pogba can't stay too long at United, in my opinion, after Mino Raiola's sentence or his comments. I expect them to try and sell Pogba in January. In January, we're now going to have to look at moving this individual on. It is understood that Pogba would prefer the sort of playmaking role that Bruno Fernandes has made his own. These kind of quotes into the press. And by the way, do you know what they're doing with these quotes? They're feeding the hate mob. They're feeding the Bruno versus Paul Pogba agenda. They're fueling the Oli hate in these comments. There's no doubt about it. And there's more here. You see Paul Pogba's dream to play for Real Madrid, but no one at Real Madrid is even moving to sign him. They're twisting that into a negative against Manchester United. They're twisting that into United are the ones that are stopping that from happening because they're pricing you out. They're not playing you in your correct position. All of this is being twisted. And there's a further comment from Mino Raiola, having a pop at Oli for talking about Haaland. You know, he says Haaland is like Ibra when he was 20. Solskjaer is a good guy, but he is wrong when he said that Haaland is like Lukaku. Now it's funny how he's now attacking Lukaku because he's not his client anymore. It would be better if Solskjaer thought about finding a way to make Paul Pogba play like a champion instead of talking about Haaland. And that just feeds into everything that's wrong. The reason that Oli is questioned about Haaland is because Haaland is Norwegian and Oli is Norwegian royalty in terms of football. He's always going to be questioned about him. Now, this notion of Oli is accountable for Paul Pogba not playing like a champion. It's an absolute disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace. Is that what the issue has been all along? He wants to be the star man because somebody else has come into the club and is outperforming everybody else. Somebody else has come in and they've become the star. Has Pogba's nose been put out of joint? Has Mino Raiola got into his ear and said, hang on a minute, why is Bruno the star and not you? Why are you being put in a deep role while this guy's taking all the glory? That's the position we want for you. And maybe, just maybe, Ollie said, no, that's Bruno Fernandes' position. This is my role for you. And that's absolutely fine if they come to a disagreement over positions that they want to play in. But you leave with dignity, you leave with grace, you leave with decorum, you leave with professionalism. There is no need to do this. And this is absolutely calculated, pinpoint calculations to happen and be released the day of the biggest game of the season. The biggest game of the season. If you're a Man United fan and this is not infuriating you, you don't support this football club. You are not a fan of this football club if you even think for a second that this is right. We're going to jump into your calls. We've got a few people waiting. You can get in contact with us via the, I don't remember what it's called now, Discord server.
Look, I've not exactly heard everything that he said, and I know Mino Raiola talks a lot. But if I'm honest with you, Terry, I've said this for a long time. I think it's time for you guys to move Pogba on. I think he's a very good player. I don't think he's a flop as such. I do genuinely believe there's still the same player that was at Juventus in there. But you know, sometimes players aren't compatible with certain clubs. It's not necessarily to do with the players around them or the manager. Just some players don't work with certain clubs, and that's obviously evident with Paul Pogba. And I think it's time to cut your losses. With this guy, you probably at this moment will still be able to get a good price for him. You know, whether you'll get 110 million like you would last season, I don't know, but you might be able to break even. And if I was you, well, not you, but you know what I mean. If I was the United board, I'd be looking to just sell him, go and use that money to get a CDM, get a centre back, and focus on rebuilding the club around Bruno, around Greenwood, around Rashford, and moving forward.
Yeah, listen, I agree completely. And I think it was, you know, United attempted to try and keep him. And listen, I don't really care for the reasons so much. I mean, this is the way it's going to play.
It's marketing reasons, isn't it? Because his name is Pogba.
Yeah, no. What I mean by this is, though, is that the reason for him leaving is going to be twisted and turned and everything else. So I do believe there is an element of this where Paul Pogba is looking at it saying he wants to be the star man, he wants to be the main creator, the main goal scorer. I really do believe that. Now, some people are going to turn around and turn this into, well, it's because Ollie doesn't know what he's doing. Ollie preferred Bruno. The Bruno relationship and the Bruno signing is what's killed Paul Pogba. Like Paul Pogba's fanboys.
That's what they'll do. The media will twist it to make it seem like Bruno and Ollie forced
him out. That's going to be the narrative. We already know what's coming as an example. And I don't actually mind if Paul Pogba says, you know what, Ollie, I really want Bruno's role. It's for Bruno. And Pogba's like, look, I'm going to leave then. It's like the second time round when Wayne Rooney wanted to leave Man United, it was because Fergie told him that he wasn't part of the first team plans in terms of one of the main starting 11. And all he said is, well, I'll think about leaving then. I don't think that's the same as a genuine standard transfer request where you're in the first team, you're firing, you're like a permanent member of the first team and suddenly you just say, right, I want to leave. I think it's very different. Yeah. It's going, you know what, if I'm not part of the first team plans, I want to go elsewhere. I would respect that from Pogba. But it's the type of comment. It's the sort of Pogba wants this role and he isn't happy with where he's being played. He's still got great relationships with Juve. They would like him. You know, talking about even the Real Madrid thing. Mino Raiola. Let me finish one last thing. Mino Raiola is even trying to turn Real Madrid not coming in for Paul Pogba. They're trying to spin it that it was Man United's fault for overpricing him. It's a disgrace. Yeah. Right? You were going to say something. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.